What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I'm super stoked because today we've got something special. We are interviewing two members from the band TEMIC.
Yeah, I can't wait. You've done a couple of reactions of TEMIC.
Absolutely. Me and my drummer Matt, we actually did two reactions. One of the newest songs, actually, Through the Sands of Time, which we're going to talk about in the interview, was amazing.
Yeah,
filmed in Iceland, and the breakdown, man.
Oh my gosh, it was so good.
Absolutely.
Like, we have got some technical, band things to talk about, but we've also found a way to sprinkle in some fun.
A couple of little fun things.
Yeah.
So stick around and check out this interview. All right, and here we are. We've got Simen and Diego from TEMIC. Woo!
All right.
Hello.
Gentlemen, thank you again for taking time. You've had a really busy schedule, and I know that you're in the middle of things, so thanks for making some minutes for us. And I'm sure our audience is going to be very excited to hear what you have to say.
Super excited to be here.
Absolutely our pleasure.
Absolutely. And Diego, a little bit jet lagged, maybe just flew back from, where was the Midwinter Prog Festival? That was in Sweden or Norway?
No, the Netherlands. That was
Netherlands.
Woo!
Utrecht. So yeah, we were there 2 days ago in the Netherlands. We had a first show ever. It was a lot of fun, but the thing that is never fun is just going back here and just readjusting to the time difference. Like, I'm awake at 4 a.m. and trying to go to sleep, and then 5 p.m. I'm going to sleep. But it happens, and it's been a long time since I had jet lag. But
And you're in Mexico City, right?
Yeah, I mean the metropolitan area of Mexico City.
Okay,
so just not in the center of the city, a little bit outside.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how did that go for you guys? Congratulations on your
congrats.
first show. That's amazing. I'm super stoked for that. And everything went well?
I think, yeah, it was very good. We always talked about this, that live, there's always things that go out of your control. And that's the thing you have to be prepared for. And, we've done it so many times that, a couple of my keyboards at some point stopped working and then came back. And that's the kind of thing that happens live. And fortunately, we've been doing this a long time. I mean, separately, but now as a band, it's the first time we do it together.
Right.
So you get used to these eventualities that happen live. So if this happened to me 10 years ago, 15 years ago, I'll be like, oh my God.
Panic. Right.
Like, it happens. And I was talking to our management about this, and I told him, look, the audience makes a big deal out of this if you make a big deal out of it when you're on stage. So we had
most of the time they don't even notice unless you show them something.
Exactly. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. I think we were all very happy how it went, and it was a very special night for all of us, because we've been hoping for this show since the band was created, and that was the last frontier for the band to be a real band, because we got the album out,
christened.
Exactly, that was the last bit to it. So we can now move completely to the next phase of TEMIC, and of course we want more shows now, which is like, where are they? So for sure. And Simen, how about you? Everything went well? How many sticks did you drop or throw or break? 3.
No, I broke 9 drumsticks that day.
Wow.
They just keep breaking and breaking and breaking all the time.
That's because he's got them guns.
Those strong
and it was usually I don't break that many drumsticks. I usually break 1 or twice, 2 or a week, kind of but I broke 9 drumsticks in one gig. Each song I broke a drumstick.
You were excited.
Each single song. Yeah,
what
I was
did
excited.
those drums do to you to get such an
I
abusive?
I don't know.
That's awesome.
They were my favorite brand and everything, so I was comfortable. And I don't know. I think I was just way too excited.
Yeah. What brand do you use? Vic Firth or?
Yeah, I use Vic Firth drumsticks and Mapex drums, and that was the usual drum kit that I use for gigging is the one I had. So it was the configuration was very nice, and I could just really enjoy it.
Hey, Vic Firth, send him some more drumsticks.
Yeah.
He's killing them. He needs more. So, I wanted to ask, so I know all of you guys in TEMIC have been touring and members of other bands for a long time, and now you guys are all together. How did you guys get together? How did this happen?
So Eric and I first worked together in 2017. We did a series of tours with Mike Portnoy, a project called Mike Portnoy Shadow Fortress.
Yes.
We were playing Dream Theater's material, which was a lot of work.
Yeah.
But that's the first time we played together. I mean, we knew each other before, and I actually worked on his solo records. But the first time we toured together and played together was with my Portnoy. And, you know, we hit it off in many ways, like a very similar sense of humor. He's a very down-to-earth guy, but also it's a massive gig. And, you know, Eric is a lot into music production. He also plays keyboards. He also plays drums.
Wow.
So we had a lot of, and also I didn't know that. I was kind of news to me until recently that he also does what do you call it? Animations? What do you call that?
Visual effects.
Oh, there you go.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man does everything.
Does everything.
Yeah. It's like, okay. So we work very well, and those shows in particular, we had to work very closely because, of course, you know, he was covering the lead guitars and I was covering all the keyboard parts and all the Dream Theater material. Of course, it's all about that, right?
Yeah.
Well,
Yep.
not all about that, but, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a lot of
Petrucci.
emphasis. Exactly.
Yeah.
So we had this talk, like, also in the personal level, how well we got along and how easy going it was. And so we thought, like, yeah, this works. Maybe in the future we can work on a side project. You know, by the time I was busy full time working with Haken, and I was also, you know, working on other things. So that never really happened until the pandemic hit. At that point, I knew I was starting a new page in my career, and Eric was the first person that came into my mind. And I got on the phone with him, and it's like, hey, remember how we thought about doing a project together and a band together? Well, how about we do a band? How about we start now? And Eric was super happy with it, and, you know, so we talked about a lot about the band members, and he also shared this idea that he wanted to have people that are easygoing. So the technical aspect is super important, but the personal aspect is equally, or if not more,
100%. Yeah.
You know, in Eric's words is like, yeah, when you're on tour, your show is 2 hours, but the rest of the 22 hours, you're sharing, you know, room with everyone,
Right.
just sleeping on top of each other, you know.
Yep.
Sorry for saying this, but you're literally smelling each other's farts.
Yeah. Every day.
I wish it was a joke, but it happens, you know.
Yeah.
So, you know, you
That's great.
work in close quarters, so it's important to have a kind of harmonious relationship. So the first person that came into mind for drums was this big giant here, Simen, because I've toured with Simen before as well. He was working as a part of the staff with, and his band, Arkentype, opened for Haken in a tour we did in 2015, I believe, or 2016.
2016. Yes.
And, you know, we became really good friends. And also I realized, like, Simen is a super talented guy. Apart from drumming, he does all the music videos we've had. He's been working with social media. He did, you know, we had the show and we had some visuals. But Simen did, you know, one day before he was working on them, and also Eric was doing also some stuff. So it was
Wow.
super. So, you know, he fit the profile perfectly. And when I spoke to Simen, we were still trying to find the perfect vocalist, because we had an idea of the sound and we had an idea of what we wanted the band to sound like. But Simen recommended Fredrik. So, like, yeah, I worked with him before. He's a really good dude. He's a great singer. Also plays the bass, which is also important, you know, to have someone who has different kind of abilities musically.
Absolutely.
And
Helps.
that's it. Like, we spoke to Fredrik, and Fredrik was like the perfect choice. Like, we heard what he sent us on a demo, and it hit all the boxes. And
That's great.
yeah, so it's been really good. Like, even though we only have one show, we've been working together now for, you know, quite some time now, 4 years. So yeah, that's kind of the story.
That's fun. That's fun. You know,
it's awesome.
A friend of your, I don't know if it's a friend or just a super fan, but a gentleman by the name of Matthew Wilkes is who introduced us to you.
Yep.
And had sponsored a couple of your songs on our channel. And it's been really fun getting to learn the style of music. There's so many favorite parts, especially through the sands of time I'm excited to talk about, but I don't want to get too ahead of myself.
And it's kind of funny because it kind of brings me into the next question. We were listening to some of the songs, and she had asked me what genre you guys are. She says, is TEMIC gent? And
I need to preface this, though, okay, gentlemen. This conversation comes up on our channel all the time about genre bending, genre blending. We get a gazillion comments of people saying, who cares what genre it is? And my whole thing is, well, the first reason people care is just so they know where to look for a specific type of music, right? But back to the...
So she asked me if it was gent, and my first thought was no, because I don't know why, but then the more I started listening to it, I was like, there are some aspects of gent in there, I guess. And then it started to make me realize, okay, well then what are you guys? you're a progressive band. What do you guys consider yourselves?
Yeah, as you said, there's elements of gent. Definitely wouldn't consider the band to be full gent, and
right.
Especially, there's too much keyboards for anything.
Right.
Melody, But I think it has very good resources. That style of writing and style of playing is fun, and the rhythmic aspect, especially with drums, and that's something that's very, I really like, displacement of rhythms and all that stuff. And as you mentioned, I think genres are important. If you go to a label or you go to a record store, you're not gonna go to Latin music to find our stuff. So you need to know.
Yeah.
Right.
So definitely, I think we're flying under the prog flag, somewhere in between prog metal, prog rock. But I think, one of the things are kind of, I would say not different, but what we wanted to do differently as well is not focus so much on the prog elements that sometimes are a little bit catered for the music academics, right?
Yes. Yes, for sure. You want it to be digestible by more people than just the people that are like technicians in math metal or something, right?
Correct. Just focus it on the core elements of music, which is the melody, which is the king. You've listened to the album, that everything is built around the vocal melodies and the lyrics. So, harmonies, just the basic elements of what music is. So we didn't really want to focus too much on like blatantly showing off the crazy time signatures or how fast we can play. And that was something like Eric and I talked on the first phone call we had, and then consecutively with Simen, right? That we said like, look, we can shred, we've done it, but we don't necessarily want to do it just to prove ourselves. We want to create music, and if the music needs some of that, so be it, but not necessarily focusing on that.
Right.
And the electronic elements as well, that's what I bring into the table as well, because that's what I listened to. We wanted to make something that was honest for everyone. So, Eric brings his sound, I bring my sound, Simen brings his sound, and Fredrik brings their sound. So, yeah, I would say just the easy way of saying like we're prog is because prog is such a big word.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like you're saying we're music. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Fine.
Right.
So, but there's elements of a lot of things, as you were saying. There's elements of gen, there's elements of electronic music, there's elements of pop, there's elements of classic rock, there's elements of industrial. A lot of stuff.
Genre blending.
That's great. We're big fans, and we were curious to hear what you two thought about genre blending or bending. And one of the examples I'll give is just Sleep Token, because I saw either on one of your bios or on the band bio that Sleep Token is either an influencer or someone is a fan of them. So that I feel like is a perfect example of if you're going to reference genre blending, just because it's more than just within a one particular genre like metal realm, but they have R&B in there, and there's all these different components. How do you two feel about that?
Simen, want to take it out?
For us, it's mostly like the melody. It's like melody, and kind of like the pop way of writing is kind of like the most important. Like the song needs to be good. We do it for the song. And I feel for like bands for like Sleep Token and that type of genre blending, that's where you can get like a completely new audience.
Right.
Yes.
And I feel that's something that we can do with our music as well, that we can kind of hit like the mainstream market and get that type of crowd more into the prog world.
Right.
Instead of the opposite way, getting the prog guys over to the mainstream.
That's
and
tough to do.
Don't say, and I don't really mean mainstream as a bad word. I mean it as something like that is digestible for the regular guy, or the regular woman. Or
right.
Yeah,
We get it.
So I feel like it's something that's easily digestible for fans of music.
And are you guys fans of that kind of stuff too? Because now I don't know how old you guys are. I came up, I was born in '80. So back in the day when I was listening to metal and stuff like that, there weren't bands. There were bands that crossed over with like rap and rock and stuff like that, or a little bit of jazz and some metal, a little bit. But it's exciting in this day and age because people are going to extremes from like death metal and gent to straight up R&B.
Yeah.
You know, like that's wild to me because I've never seen that until, you know, in the past like 5 years or so. Like, what do you guys think about that kind of stuff? Is it exciting for you too, or do you kind of think like it doesn't need that?
No, absolutely. I mean, even personally, you know, even though I'm extremely jet lagged, yesterday I went to see this a Russian duo in Mexico City called Iceland. They were, I don't know if you're familiar with the music. Really, it's very difficult to define because they're like kind of synth pop, but they have a lot of post-punk elements and metal elements, and really interesting. And it's only two guys. The producer is just playing a lot of instruments with a backing track, and the singer very talented. And you know, you're seeing like kind of like a mainstream show with a ton of, you know, young people in the audience, but then I'm listening to industrial post-punk from, you know, and then classical punk from the 80s, and then metal, and then synth pop, and then this kind of like bass heavy hip hop all in one show.
Wow. Sounds fun.
Yeah, and those guys are massive. They were very small, and all of a sudden during the pandemic they became like really big. So, you know, if you're interested, check them out. And also
Thank you.
And they've been the Russian government is after them. They've canceled the shows and all that kind of.
Jeez.
So they're rock and roll in a way as well.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I think in many ways that's how people listen to music now. You know, back in the day you didn't really have a lot of access to many different genres because it was through the radio or through specialized. And now most people listen to music through Spotify or whatever streaming service they like to have, and their playlist is very eclectic. I mean, myself included, I actually don't listen to metal that much anymore, or prog or anything. I don't. I listen to electronic music, post-punk, 60s and 40s music, because that's at this point what I like.
Right.
So I think it's a very liberating part to be, or moment in time to be, where you can actually just put out there what you feel you have, and people will listen to it. Whereas in the past, the genres will be much more strict. You know, the A&R guy, the label will be like, no, you have to play this and that. So I think it's exciting. And, you know, a little addition to what we're talking before about the prog, you think about the process of prog 40 years ago, it was all about breaking boundaries, and it was just a term like jazz. Jazz is a term that breaking the boundaries of harmony and melody, and just kind of improvising, I think, in the same way it was prog. So it's good to be in a moment in time where you can actually just be honest, and someone will like it, and also in a genre as well that is in that way, in theory, not as strict about what you do. So it's been institutionalized now. Prog
Absolutely.
is institutionalized.
And you know, it's funny because this brings up a question that I didn't initially have. Actually, we talked about it, but we weren't necessarily going to ask it. But now I wanted to ask it, because what you were talking about with accessibility and people listening to all different types of things all at once, and just the state of music in these days, to me, at least what I've found is Reactors have had a big part, at least personally, for a lot of things like this, because I'm finding stuff that I've never heard of.
Yeah, it's so
and
great.
And before we had a reaction channel, I was watching a lot of Reactors for a couple years, and one of the things that I loved was seeing people that would normally never listen to a certain genre of music really giving things a chance and actually understanding it and enjoying it. And it's been really eye-opening to me to see that. It's been refreshing. And we were wondering, like, what do you guys think as artists of Reactors who will take your video and put it on YouTube and now we just sit there and watch it? What do you guys think of something like that?
Be honest, it's not a trick question.
And for us, it's a little bit different.
I promise.
It's awesome.
For us, it's a little bit different because I'm also an artist and I'm a audio engineer. So I record a lot of people. So I also bring a little bit of knowledge to the table. It's not just like, oh, these are cool people.
Yeah.
But what do you guys think of Reactors? Because it's very polarizing.
It is.
I love it. Yeah, I can go first. I love it. I think it's a great channel for people to explore new music, especially if you have a good viewer base already, and it helps people discover new music, and it helps bands grow. it's like a new modern way of radio, and especially if you have someone you trust and you look up to, and they like recommend something that's good, or at least are being honest about it as well. Like
Right.
people, like one of the worst things I see is like when we get reviews and people haven't like really dived into the music or our history or whatever. They're just like, yeah, you know, but then you see reactors that go like, oh, I need to check more of these guys out, and hey, check these guys out. And it's just so awesome to see. Like every time I see a reaction video, I usually watch the entire thing from like start to finish.
Oh,
and just,
good.
Like,
That's awesome.
yeah. I really, really love them. So, and I think it's a super important media outlet in today's music industry. Like
Good.
super important. You see,
That's
like you see these Drumeo things. I don't know if you have seen those. Like the drummers trying to play a song from a different
I
band.
love
Love
that.
those.
You have like a country drummer who has a country fan base playing Gojira, right?
Yeah.
And then that fan base will be so like, oh, I've never heard about this band, but wow, they're pretty awesome because now I have a connection with them through this drummer.
Yep.
So I think reactors are a big reason why we can see people blend music genres that way.
For sure.
That way. And also one thing, like back in the 80s and 90s, you wouldn't find a guy who listened to like black metal and listen to pop. They would never listen to black metal and pop. It was like either you listen to black metal, or if you don't listen to anything else, you're a poser.
Yeah,
right?
yep.
While now you will have people who loves Lady Gaga and loves necrophagots or Black Dahlia murder, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't want to meet that person, by the way. Wherever you are, just don't come talk to me. We're in the same party.
I was talking about necrophagots with some friends earlier today, so that was why it was mine. Yeah.
Like just to continue to what Simen's saying, I think it's awesome, and you were saying about reactions, and the thing is, what I appreciate is most of the times, not always, it seems like people who have a true passion for music, and they're just ordinary people, right? So, and normally they decide to make the reaction video because they might be actually interested in the music, you know, because the aspect of getting a review has been around for a long time, you know. You have and so reactions have been there, but then, you know, you have the reviewer from X and Y magazine, and it's just like the first thing you hear is just comparisons. This band sounds like this reminds me of this, and there's always expectations that play a big role too, especially if they know your career. People kind of make up an idea what you sound like, what you are all about. So so all of the things normally, when you realize it's a very personal thing, even though they try to make it sound professional, the reviewer is just basically exposing their expectations and their taste. Whereas these reaction videos, most of the times people don't even know the music. Sometimes they're like, oh, I don't know who this guy is, I want to listen to it. So that gives you also a fair starting point. And the reactions, I love seeing people who actually are passionate about the music, and they react to stuff like you didn't even think it was that good, but you're like, oh, those guys like that bit, you know? So it is a lot of fun, and it's definitely us, you know, as a first album, and seeing all these reaction videos have helped us a ton. So,
that's cool.
Good. That's
I
great
love
to
hearing
hear.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And shout out to you once again, Matthew, for bringing these guys to us. 'Cause
Thanks, Matthew.
whoever you are, Matthew, even if you're the guy who likes Lady Gaga, necrophagots.
And you know, it's funny because it reminds
good.
It reminds
Matthew's
me
a
of
good guy. Yeah.
Good. I'm glad.
what you were talking about. Kind of reminds me of the reaction. My drummer, when we were in Arizona, my drummer and I did the reaction to Through the Sands of Time. She wasn't on this one, and it just made me think of the little breakdown.
Oh, I
Diego,
love
when
that
you
part.
go into that right into the breakdown. Yo,
That's one of my
right
most
there, I was
favorite
like, okay, this is dirty.
Yeah.
Like, and the effect, the video effect, when it was like, and then you would turn into like 3 people, and it would kind of zoom.
So great.
It was so cool, and I wanted to get into the Through the Sands of Time since that's your newest video, and I wanted to hear about what it was like shooting in Iceland. We were in Iceland not too long ago, and it's probably my favorite place. We have a travel vlog, and we've been all around the world. Iceland is probably my favorite place ever. And I was wondering, what was it like shooting in Iceland? And did you guys have to jump through hoops to get permits? And I know your sister was a star, which is awesome. How did you guys feel about that whole video and the process?
Yeah.
No, it's all Simen, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Congratulations. It was amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Well, we were just talking about like what should we do after the release of the album, and the record label was like, yeah, we want to put Through the Sands of Time as like the single of the album release. And they were like, can we do a music video for it? And then I always wanted to do kind of like a music video that's basically just art or just visually nice. It doesn't really have to have a story or anything. It's just like, I want to go there and just create beautiful images. And I really haven't had a chance to do that before. So now I kind of like, this is the perfect time. And then since my sister lives in Iceland and I really wanted to visit her in Iceland as well, I was like, yeah, I'll just go do it and fix it. So I just brought my camera, brought my drone, and asked them like, where should we go filming and where should we do stuff? And they found a few places because her husband lives in Iceland or is from Iceland as well. We just went there, was there for like 3 or 4 days, just shot as much as I possibly could. And also, fun fact, while we were filming this, my sister has a 4-month-old baby that I was carrying around on my chest
while he's shooting.
Yes.
He's got the baby and he's like filming.
Yes, so I was like having him on like a harness or what, like a body harness. So he was just hanging there while I was filming. All of those shots is with a baby attached to my chest.
Oh my God. And so you shot the whole video yourself.
Yeah.
Wow.
Everything. Yeah. And edited it. And yes.
That's awesome.
Between the band, I don't think there's any skill you don't have, honestly.
I know. Like,
I know.
You guys have everything you need.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I'm sure there's something, but fun fact, this is funny. Like we met in last summer, and we were working on the video for Falling Away, and also we started writing the album too. And we didn't know, but we're all like really good cooks, and we all love doing it. So that time we spent together every night, everyone was cooking dinner, and it was so much fun.
How fun!
That's awesome. What a good time.
What part of, well, we saw some of the imagery where we were like, we know where that is, and I can't even attempt to pronounce some of the names. But Diego, what did you think about Iceland? Was it your first time, and did you enjoy the process?
I wasn't there, no. So like,
not behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Not even behind the scenes, kind of doing your mastermind work.
My behind the scenes is me at home, reading like, sounds good, friend. And just
I'm thinking everyone's there. I didn't realize you were like behind the scenes. Okay.
Nope. Well, have you been to Iceland before?
Myself? No, I never been to. That's on my bucket list, but I've never been to Iceland. No.
Yeah. Okay. Man, you got to get out there. You already know people out there. Your band members.
Yeah.
Come on.
That's true.
You already got a nephew out there, a 4-month-old baby nephew out there. Well, I wanted to shift to the 2024 plans.
Yeah.
So what's in store for TEMIC in this year?
Any future shows lined up? Anything that?
Yeah, anything already lined up?
Yes, so we have like more shows that are gonna come up, gonna be announced soon. We just got announced for, we just played Midwinter Prog, and we're gonna play Midsummer Prog, which is a festival that we're very excited about, and we have all the shows in the works for the summer. And we've already started working on album number 2, so we started that last summer. Out of experience, we knew that things were going to get busy for us leading towards the release and the first show. So we wanted to get the ball started as well as, not waiting 2 years or 3 years to start a second album. So, get the ball rolling. And it's super important as well at the beginning of a band is just not to put the album and then wait. It's just keep going, like keep the momentum going. And that's the only way, out of experience, the only way you can build a band is just by doing it. You might hope for a good reception of the album, but the best thing is to expect that you need to kind of carry on and move forward. So we started with that with album number 2. So we actually yesterday we were talking that we should have a band meeting next week to start looking into the timelines of when we want to when we want to have the album ready and the writing process.
Perfect.
So that's basically what we have right now in store is some shows in the summer that are going to be announced. There's more shows in the works. We're already working on shows for 2025, and that's how the music industry works.
Yes, it does. Yep. And, are you guys going to come to the States at all?
Yeah, can't possibly confirm nor deny. Right?
Fingers crossed, yeah.
Well, that'd be awesome, of course. I mean, the States are amazing, and of course, it's a market that have to do as well. So yeah, like for this album was very interesting because we're a new band, but we're not new musicians. So it's kind of weird because, in the one hand, a friend of mine asked me this: how many bands you know that have a record deal, have an album out, but never played a show? And you really think about it, it's like not really many, right?
No.
So that's kind of the position we are. So of course, there's things that you're like, oh, hang on a minute, this is our first album, so we need to wait for this to happen. Normally the tour is already set up before the album is released, but then it's like, oh, but this is our first album, so normally this is the other way around.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So yeah,
and how many bands can say that their first show was in front of 1,600 people?
Yeah, it was packed. I saw the pictures and the videos and stuff. I mean, that was packed.
It looked great.
That's amazing.
Great turnout.
Yeah, good fun.
Yeah,
so,
it was really good. Yeah.
So that's in a nutshell, that's kind of what's in store for the rest of the year, and just keep the ball rolling and keep pushing it. And we're really, now that we have the show up and running, what we want is like, all right, we need to do more shows now. That's
and get out there on the road. And real quick, Simen, I wanted to ask you also, I know that you did some MIDI packs for Get Good Drums, right? Now, I do a lot of programming drums and stuff. I'm a drummer at heart, even though I'm a guitarist, but I really am a drummer. I love programming drums. But I only work with Toontrack. Is there any chance that you're going to do any kind of Toontrack MIDI packs or anything?
Well, I can say that I'm working on a new group pack now that will be Toontrack compatible.
Nice.
There we go.
Okay.
That's awesome. I love to hear that because I was reading about it. And I'm like, Get Good Drums. I've been meaning to actually check that out, but I've had Superior Drummer for so long, there's no need for me to go to something else. But I'm like, man, I need to get some of Simen's stuff in my music.
Yeah. Well, I think you can convert them, but the process is kind of slow.
Okay, well, if you're doing something else that's going to come out that will be compatible, that'll be awesome.
Yes, it will be its own MIDI file for Toontrack.
Right on.
Probably around August or something like that.
Score.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Well, guys, I don't want to take up too much more of your time. I know you've got a lot going on, Simen, and Diego, you probably just want to go to sleep and relax.
Is there time for one more fun question?
One more fun question.
A fun one? Are you sure?
So, while we were doing our professional journalistic duties and looking into you guys,
reading your bio,
we uncovered some stuff.
Oh no!
Yeah,
this is great.
Simen.
Oh yeah.
We got to talk, buddy.
And we're coming over to you, Diego. Don't worry.
Okay. Can you please let us know what is a Norwegian taco?
Oh man.
Oh yes.
Tacos are our favorite food in the world. So when we saw that, we have to know what a Norwegian taco is.
He was nervous though. You see him? He was like,
uh-oh. He was like, uh-oh.
Well, using Diego's word, it's an abomination.
An abomination.
Oh no! Because
we're taco snobs.
Diego's favorite food is Oaxacan food. Is that right,
Correct.
Diego? Okay,
Correct.
So all right, what is a Norwegian taco?
What is this thing?
You wanted to?
Okay, all right. I'll explain.
I don't know. Is it a food? First of all,
No.
Is it food?
The thing is, in Norway, it's a big thing. Tacos are a big thing in Norway, like Mexican food.
We have Taco Friday. We have Taco Friday.
Wow.
Oh.
Sacred. It's like sacred. Yeah.
So,
Okay.
do you understand that in the rest of the world it's Taco Tuesday? But in
Taco
Norway,
Tuesday, yeah.
for some reason, it doesn't rhyme. Nothing, but it's Taco Friday. All right, that's how we begin this story, right?
That's how we start.
Got it.
So every time, like when we were recording the drums and vocals for the album, The Management Theory, I flew over to Norway and then we drove to Sweden. And I knew that in Norway that tacos is a big thing, but it's Norwegian tacos, and I'm like, man, that sounds. I mean, I'm Mexican, right? So like that's my you go out and there's like 5 taco stalls outside or whatever.
Right.
So Simen and Fredrik was like, yeah, we have to make you some authentic Norwegian taco. And I was like, what do you mean authentic Norwegian taco? Yeah, we're gonna cook you some taco night. And it's like, you know, for lack of a better word, like the British say, is a bus driver's holiday, right? Because like this is what happened. They promised me a Norwegian taco. I was like, okay, let's have a Norwegian taco. So the one night they decided to make this Norwegian taco dinner, and we went shopping, and Simen was like, look, the taco spice is super important. Like, what do you mean taco spice? Yeah,
taco spice.
Let's just sack it with a ton of cumin and I don't know what else. And you go to the shop and it has this like faintly Mexican oriented kind of kind of font and most of it's like, okay.
So then we need some Santa Maria taco spice.
Yeah,
okay.
That's it.
You heard it first here. Santa Maria.
Super important, this taco spice. Like, okay. And then like, so I was telling the guys like, there's some things that is clearly based on the original thing, but the way I think about it, so because they did this wrap with flour tortilla and some like lettuce and the taco spice, and you ask cucumber and
cucumber, corn,
exactly. Thank you.
And sour cream and taco sauce.
Wow, that's what it. Okay, and is it ground beef or whatever meat you want to use?
It's vegan.
Usually ground beef. Yeah,
vegan.
I'm vegan, but
okay.
The more normal one is ground beef.
Okay. Wow.
Cucumber, and then you do corn. All of paprikas, you do whatever you want.
Cheese? Is it like
cheese? Absolutely, everyone in Norway wants the cheese.
Okay. And
oh
the
my
taco
goodness!
Spice, don't forget the taco spice, which is
the taco spice.
The taco spice.
The way I think about it,
the ground beef, yeah.
The way I think about it is like someone, because it's clearly based on vaguely on things, from Mexican, like fast food Mexican. But the way I think about it is maybe someone went on a trip to Mexico at some point and then came back and is like, okay, I want to make some Mexican food. There was some lettuce involved. A lot of spices. Let's use some spices from Indian food, and let's get some.
I have a cucumber to use. Yeah.
There's a cucumber. Okay.
I love it. Oh, thank you so much, because we were dying to know what a Norwegian taco was.
We are taco snobs.
Fanatics. And so
we love our tacos.
We more relate to probably what Diego is used to, having come from Mexico City with the plainness and the little baby one and meat and onion and cilantro with lime.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Al pastor or now I'm forgetting. What's the
carnitas?
No. What's the in the Yucatan? Oh, wow.
Cochinita
pibil.
Thank you.
I can't even believe I forgot that. That's like the best.
Thank you for that story. I appreciate you sharing. We were hoping that it was something that you could talk about.
Yeah, and it's just, I need to add that for Diego's wedding, my wedding present to him was like all the different brands of taco kits that you can buy in Norway.
To add insult to injury, I got married, these guys came we got married in Cancun in Mexico. So he flew from Norway
wow.
to Mexico with his taco kit.
You brought sand to the beach, homie.
Yeah.
Very considerate, though. That was thoughtful.
Man. I love it. Well, it has been an absolute pleasure, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. All you guys watching out there, make sure you go subscribe to TEMIC. Go check out Simen. Go get his Midi drum packs. Go check out Diego. Check out everybody. Listen to the music. These are awesome people.
Yeah, we'll put all their info in the description
absolutely,
below.
All the links in the below. Make sure you check out their shows coming up soon. If you're in Europe for the Midsummer Prog Festival, go check it out. And so, my friends, if you guys enjoyed this, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you guys soon, my friends.
Peace.
Peace.
Oh, yay!
Wait, what just happened? How did we? What?
You have balloons. Did you do that on purpose?
No.
That was
Simen,
great.
you got magic balloons, my brother.
Diego, did you do that with your trickery?
No.
It won't happen again. Look.
No.
I don't know what happened.
I don't know.
That was perfect.
That was great.